Here we are, War Games Holiday Centre, Sunday afternoon, lunchtime. The protagonists are all off getting their lunch. I thought I'd give you a brief update on how things went overnight. The Austrians have realigned. The village of Essling is firmly in the hands of the French still, well 50-50 to be fair. The church is still in the capable hands of the Austrians. They've driven them out of this part of the town. The French still hold this part. We've got the Young Guard, the Tirailleur Grenadiers, the Fusilier Chasseurs and Fusilier Grenadiers pushing back against the Austrian onslaught. Just trying to navigate the chairs there, chaps. Sorry about the shaky camera. See the Landwehr pressing in, the Grenadiers coming along in the background there. Furious fighting here, French holding out against the Austrian. While this lone battalion rushed in to attack the French battalion that was trying to support the village. The rest of it was pinged when the battery ran through it. The battery's now rallied by the look of it. And the bases are tilted up just so the guys can do quick calculations on the roster sheet. They put them all back down afterwards. And in the centre here, another Grenadier division coming through the middle here, supported by the cavalry. You see a lot of the Austrian cavalry engaging the French here, what was left of Marilla's and Lasalle's cavalry divisions. French got heavily embroiled in cavalry melees yesterday. Lost a fair few cuirassiers to fire and melee. Then we come down to the granary, which is now under pressure. So there's a lot of firing going on around these villages. This literally has just seen 3 Austrian battalions trying to take this part of the village have now been bounced out, but there are reinforcements coming. These chaps in the middle here, this division is pressing on. They'll need to test the skirmishers that have been holding this part of the village. They're now down to 50% strength, so they may go. You can see French are hanging on here. They've only got 4 squadrons of Guard cavalry, which are still on the back table by the look of it. We've got a couple of squadrons of Chasseurs de Cheval, Empress Dragoons, Grenadiers de Cheval. Then we've got the Guard here, so the old Guard supporting the Young Guard, as I mentioned earlier. Bit of a press there down by the stream for the French, but there's not much to threaten it now. I think these chaps moving into the village, these Austrians, once they get in base to base, once they get into the village, that'll cause a bit of a threat here. The French will need to do something about that. As you can see, it's still quite a bit to play for. Aspern Essling is quite an interesting battle from the perspective that it's, as you all may know from the historical aspect, it's a Klingon, that sounds like something from Star Trek. The French are clinging on a little bit to start with, and then the reserves are trying to get across the river from the Bow Island, across the pontoons, and the Austrians are doing their utmost to stop that happening. Well, that didn't happen much for the French. They managed to get all their reserves in. The Austrians still have their command control restrictions because of the poor staff work that the Austrians had during this period, which frustrated poor Archduke Charles. So that's limited some of the movement for the Austrian divisions, which helps for the French. But now with most of the army here, so the Austrians are all here, the French are all here, you can see there's still plenty of French cuirassiers and the gendarmes d'élite that are doubling up as carabiniers, which you can see here. Very nice little command stand done by my friend Dean Whitehouse. Very talented man when it comes to these things. And then there's the Guard Cavalry here, as I spoke about. I don't actually have any Chevalier Polonaise. I've got the Lancers, obviously, Chevalier Lancière, but not the Chevalier. So I might, as I said yesterday, I think in my previous video, I might look to remedy that. It'd be nice to get a couple of squadrons of 10 with just the sword. That would be very useful. Some of the melees are still to be fought, so this one's still to go on. They hit these guys stationary, so they'll lose 2 figures from the French, and the Austrians will be 2-0 up, and then the Austrian Uhlans gain 1 in 3, and what's left of the French are on par, so that means there'll be 8 dice for the French left after that, and we'll see that. So it'll be level pegging for the melee, and the Austrians will be 2-0 up to start with. Need to get some more Austrian grenadiers, I think. I would appear to be a couple of battalions light. Or I start using 32s again. But where would be the fun in that? I mean, as all gamers, you always like the idea of being able to buy something new, right? That's the way forward. So after lunch, we get about 3 hours, 2 hours gaming time, then we'll do a bit of a summary for the end to determine how the battle's gone, who's winning, or who has won. And then the chaps give me a little bit of a hand putting it all back in the boxes, which you'd expect would take about 20 minutes. I load all the boards and the terrain back into the boxes, the boards go on the van, and the boxes then follow on. I'll take it back to the house and job's done. So our next weekend will be the English Civil War weekend in October, next month, where we're refighting Edge Hill and Aldern. And the guys get to play that battle, those battles. They'll get at least one go at that, at each of the battles. So they'll get a feel for the Highlanders, as well as the English side of it. It should be quite good. I'm really looking forward to that. Really good feel to this game, the Aspern Essling. I think next year I need to do Abensberg, Eckmühl again, because the 1809 battles do have their own draw and attraction. That's about it for this weekend. I hope you've enjoyed looking at it, and as I said, next month it'll be English Civil War you'll see. I look forward to talking to you all then. Thank you.